I get that she wants to get her dog back. It's kind of like the John Wick scenario, you know. But it's not enough. It works in a Keanu Reeves John Wick movie, but not if you have a super powerful being. All right. This is Critical Drinker with Supergirl, a total cinematic calamity. It's another girl boss misunderstood, trying to find herself, but doesn't really care, doesn't want to get involved. A Hollywood slop movie. That's all I need to say.
You know, I once drank a shot glass full of chili sauce for a bet on a night out, and the resulting explosive ejection of liquid fire from my body the next morning was enough to have me praying to the gods of chaos themselves, anything to release me from the torment. But you know what? That was still more fun than watching Supergirl, partly because I won the bets.
I couldn't go on it. No, I wouldn't go to a cinema. Pay money to watch this? No way.
So at least I made some money out of it, but mostly because at least it was over quickly. Supergirl, on the other hand, stretched out into almost 2 hours of abject misery and boredom.
Nightmare.
And by golly, do you feel it? I was gonna say you feel it by the end, but who am I kidding? I was feeling it after like 20 minutes.
I like the new Superman with the dog, and I know she rocks up there at the end and reclaims her dog. So I think the dog is cute, right? And I think the dog carries the entire movie of this one, too. If she wouldn't have the dog, she wouldn't get the bonus point, and this movie would completely suck.
I hate this. It is revolting.
Me too.
Supergirl is everything we all feared it would be, and more. So much more. A cringy, cliched, tedious mess of dull, lifeless action scenes that we've seen a million times before. That fucking face, man. One-dimensional characters with nothing even resembling arcs. The kind of safe, edgy humor that's become the hallmark of these factory-produced superhero flicks. All the usual played-out James Gunnisms that ran their course like half a decade ago. Cinematography that looks like someone's...
And she has a drinking problem, but isn't it like Superman doesn't have effect of alcohol, right? Because his body like regenerates. He has like this... So how come she can, is she on a different alien planet and the sun doesn't have the same effect? How can she just be wasting her life away? Doesn't have effect? And then yet she's sitting there drinking all the cocktails. Maybe she has some like kryptonite cocktails, right? Some gargle blasters.
Smeared the results of my chili sauce shot all over the camera lens, and a protagonist who's about as likeable and empathetic as a British politician. In short, Supergirl is a fucking disaster. The wrong movie at the wrong time, based on the wrong source material, made by the wrong people and starring the wrong actress. But we'll talk more about that later. Believe that. Anyway, fuck it, let's just do the plot.
Okay.
So a series of flashbacks explain how Kara's father separated a chunk of Krypton called Argo City from the rest of the planet when it got destroyed. But oh no, it also released kryptonite, or something, and everyone's slowly dying of radiation poisoning, so her parents send her and her dog Krypto off to Earth to meet up with Clark. But she's like, nah. I'm too cool for you, and spends most of her time dicking around on planets with red suns so that she can get drunk and party and look...
Okay, so they figured it out. There needs to be a red sun so she can get smashed.
Like the kind of girl you'd find passed out in a pool of her own vomit round the back of a...
Who wants to watch this, and what's so inspiring watching a fucking loser taking a piss and wasting a life away? Superman and Supergirl is supposed to stand for so much more. I don't even watch this and go like, oh my God, so relatable, right? Because I guess that's what the millennials all write slop like this, so they can be relatable, like watch this and just like, for real, this could be me.
A Sunday morning. Wow, what an inspirational character. Can't wait to see more of this. So we pick up with Kara celebrating her 23rd birthday by, you guessed it, getting drunk and partying. That's when she meets up with Ruthie, who's out to kill some dickhead named Krem in revenge for murdering her family. But Kara's like, nah, it'll be fine. But it turns out it won't be fine when Krem himself shows up and steals Kara's ship and shoots Crypto with a poison dart that'll kill him in 3 days if he doesn't get an antidote. Wow, that was lucky, wasn't it? Lucky the antagonist of the movie just happens to show up right after he's been mentioned. Yeah. Lucky that he shoots Crypto with a slow-acting poison instead of just vaporizing him or something. Lucky this all creates the perfect setup for our reluctant hero.
It's such a stupid story. And I always often think like this, these Hollywood pitches, right, that they have, where they someone writes this manuscript, walks into an office, and then goes like, yeah, I have the perfect movie, and here's what's gonna happen. And they really go like, wow, this is great. Yeah, can we make her, like, the dog can't instantly just get poisoned for convenient plot? Oh, it's so stupid, man. It's garbage.
Hero to join forces with young, strong
come up
female
with a better
character.
Story.
Right.
Anyway, so off they go to track down Krem and his gang of Mad Max rejects, and then Lobo shows up for like 5 minutes to give Jason Momoa something to do. Then they accidentally get...
He's also in every movie nowadays. And I'm tired of seeing the same actors, right?
An innocent family killed, and Kara gets sick from the green sun on this planet, but then she gets better, and there's a big fight where she stops Ruthie from killing Krem because revenge is bad or something, but then she kills him anyway because she's not your typical superhero, and then she saves Crypto and goes back to Earth because she's decided it's finally worth her attention. And that's it. That's the plot for Supergirl.
Bullshit! All of it!
Now, I'd be lying if I said I went into this movie expecting great things from it, but I've got to admit, I was surprised. And the thing that surprised me most was how fucking shit the writing was. I mean, the dialogue is exactly what you'd expect from something like this. The usual mix of trite one-liners, desperate attempts at edginess, the kind of cringe meta-humor that can only come from millennial Hollywood.
And then also, I mean, if she's 24 years old, she has superpowers, and I mean... how terrible could her life have been in comparison to, like, Clark Kent, for instance, right? Lost his home planet, grows up, and I don't know. There's never a moment where he goes like, oh, I'm gonna drink my life away. But here you have, like, this naive 24-year-old just wasting it away.
With writers, and of course those wacky Marvel quips. That's all par for the course in 2026, but it's the story that really lets this movie down. The plot is nothing but a series of and-then coincidences, all strung together with the most flimsy justifications. The characters themselves are just along for the ride. Major events take place and people show up for no other reason than to make the rest of the plot happen. Kara gets sick and weak when she's exposed to a green sun in the second act low point, but then she just gets better when a yellow sun helpfully comes out. There's no particular trial she has to go through, no lessons learned, no difficult choices to make. The plot says that it's time for the big final battle, so it happens.
There's also nothing really at stake here. I get that she wants to get her dog back. It's kind of like the John Wick scenario, you know? But it's not enough. It works in a Keanu Reeves John Wick movie, but not if you have a super powerful being.
Happens. Lobo shows up out of nowhere for like 5 minutes because he looks cool and the script needed some fan service and everyone likes Jason Momoa. And he does exactly what he always does, plays Jason Momoa. Yeah. Honestly though, you could cut him right out of this movie and everything would play out exactly the same. In fact, I'm pretty convinced that the bulk of his scenes were added in post-production. Krem is just a generic bad guy who does bad stuff because... who even cares? He's just there to give the rest of the characters something to do. There's no...
Yeah, they can't write good villains anymore. I mean, it would make sense if they build up the story. Why is she depressed and drinking? What made her life so terrible? And how can she overcome this? Maybe attach that to a background story, to a real villain who was out to, like, completely ruin and destroy her life. Build the story so epic, and here it's just like, no, but your dog got poisoned. and the villain is actually not necessarily against something that you do. It's just another person.
No real substance to him, no big
It's so-
overarching
oh,
plan or
God.
hidden justification for what he's doing.
Hollywood
He's just a
can't make
space pirate
plots
crossed with
anymore.
Mad Max. His death means nothing because his life meant nothing either. Jesus, who wrote this shit?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Ana Nogueira, a former
Ew.
TV actress whose writing credits amount to fuck all.
Yeah. Just take a look at her and then you know.
I mean, literally, the only thing I could find about her was We Win, a micro-budget short film from 8 years ago about a couple's relationship that unravels during a game of Mafia.
Son of a bitch!
Oh yeah, that totally justifies putting her in charge of a $200 million superhero blockbuster.
200
You're
million?
seriously telling me you couldn't find anyone better qualified for
No.
this job than a failed actress who aged out of the industry with precisely one screenwriting credit to her name? Fuck off, James Gunn. Honestly,
Oh,
I'm surprised
God.
you didn't cast your own wife in this just so you could watch her get railed by Lobo. Then there's Kara herself, who's apparently based on the not particularly popular Tom King run of comic books, which helpfully ignore half a century of character development to paint Kara as a cringy punk rock.
I never liked Supergirl comics either. I get that they are there. They're usually like that when you have comic books, you get spin-offs or, you know, She-Hulk, but that doesn't mean that they are any good and that you need to turn them into movies. These are like shitty side projects that, yeah, never was supposed to be there in the first place.
Anti-hero.
I hate this.
I mean,
I
I
hate
can't
it
say I'm
so much.
surprised, to be honest. That little cameo she got at the end of Superman already told us what kind of an annoying arsehole she was gonna be.
Thanks for watching him, bitch!
I like the new Superman though because he reminds me so much from the 60s, dude. They literally like they casted a great actor.
I hate so much about the things that you choose to be.
Not since the Marvels have I liked a main character less than this one. There's this weird feeling of mild desperation throughout the whole movie where they're trying so hard not to make her a Mary Sue that she just comes across as an annoying bitch who doesn't care about anything or anyone
She
but
looks like
herself.
an annoying
You know, the kind
bitch.
of girl who flips the bird with a mildly
But that's what you get, you know? You see someone's just like drunk and obnoxious and don't give a fuck about any saving anyone, although you have all the capability and the powers to do so. You're just wasting your life away. And it feels like, why do I want to watch this?
expression in every single picture she ever takes because she really needs you to know how much cooler she is than you. Well, that's basically Kara in this movie. It's horseshoe theory projected onto characterization, where going far enough away from something ends up looping you right back to where you started. An insufferable asshole. They're trying so hard to paint her as this jaded, cynical, world-weary
insufferable
pragmatist who's
asshole.
tried and failed to be a hero and just wants to be left alone now, but it doesn't fucking work because she's like 23 years old. This is the kind of thing you do with a 50-year-old man, not some young girl who's just starting out. Like, how the fuck can you have a life of regrets when you've barely even lived a life to begin with? If they
True.
had to do some kind of anti-hero arc with her, they should have made her this rebellious, energetic, loose cannon who acts first and thinks later, convinced that she can help everyone, only to discover real life is more complicated than just punching the bad guy. You have to show us the fall so that we can cheer for the rise. Ultimately, for all the
That's another thing, right? When you have like the main character is all beaten down and you know you kind of want to watch the build up and want them to succeed and you need to understand why they hit rock bottom. And if you just start with the story like, yeah, she's always been like that, she doesn't give a much thought about anything, she just wants to party and have a good time, then people, It's the same shit that happened to Forspoken, right? People don't want to relate to a character like that.
Hype and controversy swirling around it, Supergirl is nothing but a depressingly bleak, horrible-looking, uninspired, generic superhero movie whose only USP turns out to be its biggest weakness. Yes, young women really can be messy, self-absorbed failures, but here's the thing this movie doesn't really get. They probably shouldn't. It's a movie that no one seemed...
Also, I don't know. It's something about the way she expressed herself in interview. It's the same shit that happened to Rachel Zegler. Come across, you know, these could be like cute, adorable actresses that you look up to and can inspire millions of women and be role models. But then they have these interviews and these takes, and you look at them and you're just like, ew, no, I just hate them now.
particularly excited for, pushing a character no one
Because
cares
they're
about
acting
in
so
a cinematic
obnoxious,
universe that's barely started but already
insufferable.
seems to be in its death throes. And well, Supergirl is nothing but another nail in the coffin. Anyway, that's all I've got for today. Go away now.
Yeah.
You know, I once...
Another Hollywood slot movie, guys. Yeah, I'm going to the cinema for this one. If it happens to come across any streaming site, then maybe. But honestly, I'm so over these stories. I am like misunderstood girl has a lot of problems to deal with, doesn't really care, wins in the end, no consequences. And there's too many of these movies. I just like, I'm so over this.